Now at 9, cleanup continues after a train derails just off Main Street in Joplin. Plus, rainy conditions play a role in a head-on crash this morning in Carl Junction. And senior centers in the area try to adjust in the wake of the ongoing federal government shutdown.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Anthony Saviello. A train car loaded with vehicles derails over Turkey Creek in Joplin, leaving it dangling from a railway bridge overnight. The car jumped the tracks on the CPKC Trestle Bridge near Ozark Christian College around 8:30 last night and hung suspended over the west side of the creek. This morning, heavy equipment backed up traffic on North Main between Zora and Dover Hill. No one was hurt in the derailment. Railway investigators are working to determine what caused the car to leave the tracks. Authorities say rain was partly due to blame for a head-on crash in Carl Junction this morning. The crash happened around 10:45 at Missouri 171 and Ivy Road. Authorities say the collision happened between a passenger car and an Amazon delivery van. First responders rushed one person with non-life-threatening injuries to an area hospital. One driver said they slid, lost control, and crossed the center line. Authorities say the road was still slick from a fuel spill earlier in the week, and the rain brought it back to the surface. Well, let's go ahead and check in with our newest meteorologist, Donald O'Keefe.
Yeah, so we've actually seen a lot of rain over the last day or so, which is causing some pretty slick conditions out there. So you can actually see we're in a little bit of a lull right now with rain, but there is rain that is starting to push in slowly into the overnight, which is why we do have a flood watch that will expire by 7 a.m. tomorrow. Maybe we'll see some more rain, sort of that watch extended. But let's take a look ahead. Rain will linger through the weekend. Cool things down. We're only going to have highs in the lower 60s, so it's definitely going to feel like fall. Chilly overnights, lows in the 40s, but a warm up is coming next weekend. Current conditions, seeing about 55 out there, just rain, pretty much. Just not a very pleasant night with those rain chances really starting to increase as we progress through the night and also into tomorrow. And like I was saying, rain Saturday morning and into the afternoon and evening, but more about those rain chances coming up.
All right, Donald, thank you very much. The Area Agency on Aging Region 10 senior centers throughout Jasper and McDonald County are suspending their lunch service as a result of the ongoing government shutdown. KOAM's Kenny Foreman finds out what led to this decision.
It wasn't a decision that anyone wanted to make.
They're very angry and they're upset and disappointed, and we are angry and upset and disappointed as well. We take this very seriously. This was not a lightly made decision, but it was the best decision to make right now, because if we don't take certain steps to preserve what we have right now and provide the services that we can, we won't be able to provide the services later.
The agency says the ongoing government shutdown forced its hand, leaving many seniors to figure out where to get their nutrition.
We're just worried about everybody, and there's only so much we can do, but I think if we band together as a community and watch our friends and neighbors, that we can take care of each other and we can all help each other get through this little hurdle.
For community centers that tend to bring people together, many seniors are frustrated with this disruption.
I think the government needs to speed it up, and we really do know who's behind it. And if they had a chance to be poor at one time, and I've been there where there's no food, they would understand.
In all the chaos, the agency remains optimistic for a brighter future.
We are going to come back stronger than we were before. We're going to have more activities. We're going to have great food. It's going to be just like it was before the government shut down. This is a blip on the radar, and we know that hopefully they are going to come together in Washington, D.C. to solve this, and everything will be fine.
For any seniors still looking for an affordable lunch, the Barton County Senior Center will be serving meals through November 14th, and the Neosho Center for Seniors will be serving meals through November 7th. Reporting in Joplin, Kenny Foreman, KOAM News.
Well, in addition, the agency announced that the center in Carl Junction and Carthage Senior will also be serving lunch, and the Joplin Senior Center will now be having lunch next week. The at-home delivery service is unaffected. Well, veterans from across the area gathered at Pitt State for a Veterans Claims and Resource event. The event, organized by the Kansas Office of Veterans Services, brought together a variety of veterans groups to help service members and their families across access benefits they may not know about, benefits such as filing claims, applying for VA healthcare, and learning about survivor and burial benefits.
Personally, as a veteran, a combat veteran, it's important to me that veterans do know about their benefits and the services available to them, simply because, you know, when you leave service, I'm hoping that all veterans feel the same way that I do. That is, we owe something back to those coming behind us. And that's the wonderful thing about
Organizers hope more veterans will reach out, ask questions, and take advantage of the services they've earned through their years of service. Times are tough for many people in our area, and the holiday season can multiply those difficulties. The good news is there are many organizations in the 4 states driven to alleviate those difficulties, such as hunger. We have a list of food pantries and other organizations on our website that provide help to the community. Don't hesitate to reach out for assistance or to volunteer your time and services or make a donation. Just head over to KOAMnewsnow.com, search for food pantries in the 4 states. And don't forget about this year's 4 States Heart Walk. The Heart Walk is a great way to bring the community together to help raise funds for medical advances, correct heart defects, and benefit the lives of kids like Isla, this year's special guest. The event takes place at Joplin's Cunningham Park on Saturday morning. The event begins at 9 a.m., but the walk heads out at 10. We hope to see you there. And if you're looking for more events like this right here in the 4 states, whether it's fun family events or community events like Heart Walk, but don't know where to turn, we've got you covered. If you scan this QR code with your phone, it'll take you straight to our events page of our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. You scan it, and you'll find out information on all kinds of family fun events, including plenty of information for fall festivals, haunted houses, and everything else in between. The events page at KOAMnewsnow.com. Scan that QR code. Well, if it's Friday, you know what that means. Some of the best matchups in high school football kick off tonight. We'll have more coming up on the CW for Friday Night Football.
Several historical local libraries have received a gift from the Carnegie Corporation. My name's Mitch Adams, and I'll have more on that story coming up.
It's Spine Health Awareness Month. You may not think much about your spine, but it supports your body, allowing you to move. It also protects the nervous system. But as we age, keeping the spine healthy gets harder, as it can weaken and wear down over time. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither has ways to protect your spine and lessen risk of major medical issues.
The simple things you may take for granted, like getting out of bed or walking your dog, are all made possible by your spine.
As we age, it's imperative to pay attention to how the spine actually changes.
Dr. Terrence Verla with Orlando Health Neuroscience Institute says as we age, spine health gets harder to maintain and can lead to limitations in our mobility and affect quality of life. To protect spinal health, he says have a healthy diet with foods rich in vitamin D and calcium that can help strengthen bones and keep your body physically fit through exercise and by maintaining a healthy weight. He also says posture is important.
It helps keep the spinal column neutral and evenly redistributes the load in a way that can maintain a healthy spine and a healthy lifestyle.
Verla says one of the most common spinal conditions later in life is degenerative scoliosis. As joints wear down, it can create a curvature in the spine.
Those patients could have back pain, pain shooting down their legs, numbness, tingling, and sometimes even weakness.
If you have any of those symptoms, Verla says to see a doctor, as early detection and treatment can help keep the condition from progressing.
It is a reason to at least consult with your primary care provider, who can order all the necessary tests or just a simple x-ray to figure out, what's going on.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Teenagers whose parents have opioid prescriptions are much more likely to use opioids themselves. A study in Norway found among parents who had 2 or more opioid prescriptions, their children were more than twice as likely to take opioids regularly between the ages of 13 and 29. The study's authors say doctors should consider family-based strategies when managing pain. Teens who don't get enough sleep are at a greater risk for suicide. Research from the University of Warwick study found adolescents who reported suicide attempts at the age of 17 were more likely to have missed out on sleep on school nights at the age of 14. The researchers say it's likely that insufficient sleep can harm cognitive functioning and decision making, but they say more research is needed. Donald has a complete look at the forecast coming up, and a little later, contestants head to Northeast Oklahoma for a shot at fun and prizes on Wheel of Fortune Live.
Well, I'm sure you guys have noticed a pretty significant change in temperature over the last 36 hours. Let's take a look at that right now. Thursday, we got up to 71 degrees, but today, we really didn't see a lot of change in temperature, mid-50s across most of the board, and that's because we've been getting all this rain. And actually right now we are at a little bit of a lull. It is not raining out at this moment, but we are watching this rain that's going to start pushing up to our area. Like I was saying, those temperatures right now, mid-50s, so feeling a little bit cool because of that system that's going to be pushing in later on this evening. Taking a look at your weekend though, Saturday 59 degrees, rain, 64 on Sunday, more rain, chilly temperatures because of that system that's going to continue to push through our area. Taking a look at downtown Joplin, Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex. Like I was saying, a very cool night. If you want to get off your walk, do it right now because rain is in the forecast for later on this evening, especially if you're coming home from those Friday night football games. So let's take a look at why we're getting that rain. You can see that is our wave right now that's bringing in all of that moisture from the Gulf and creating a lot of this rain right now. And there's not really a lot of forcing to push that rain out. It's kind of just lingering, and it's also bringing in some gusty winds as well. We're seeing some gusts Saturday morning around 9 a.m., 22 to 25 miles per hour. So it's going to be windy and rainy all of Saturday, and even into Sunday morning, we cool down or calm down just a little bit, but then those gusts are still going to be there, 15 to 20 miles an hour. Monday morning, those gusts are going to start calming down. However, let's take a look at the rain through the weekend. So Saturday morning into the Saturday afternoon, rain lingering, only mid-50s throughout the day. It's going to hover there pretty much most of the Saturday night into Sunday morning. There we go, 7 a.m., mid-50s when you're waking up, rain just lingering. Nothing severe about this. Maybe a few rumbles of thunder Saturday and Sunday, but just a lot of rain as well. Same thing for Monday, dries out a bit, but then another system comes through in the afternoon and evening, and then that lingers through Sunday or Tuesday morning through the day. But we finally start to dry out with this system by Wednesday morning, and it will be a little cool. Now, we're going to see some rain accumulations with this, about an inch to maybe about an inch and a half associated with this system that's going to be pushing through. Very much needed rain that we're getting. Let's take a look at our 10-day forecast here. Let's say 59 for Saturday, Sunday 64 degrees, Monday 67, 55 on Tuesday. However, it is still going to be very wet. Drier by Wednesday, and then Friday for Halloween looks like a pretty nice night in my opinion, and we're going to get a little bit warmer by next weekend.
I was skeptical whether or not we'd actually have like fall weather for Halloween, but here it is.
It looks like a pretty nice night for Halloween.
Absolutely. And Donald, welcome to the team.
Yeah, thank you.
Well
it's good.
done.
I'm very happy to be here to do this.
Good. We're happy to have you. All right. Thanks, Donald. We're back with more news after this. Several libraries in the 4 states received a gift from the Carnegie Corporation. KOAM's Mitch Adams brings us more as these libraries turn a new chapter.
During the life of Andrew Carnegie, he donated money to build nearly 2,000 libraries across the country. Girard Public Library in Girard, Kansas was one of the libraries chosen for a donation from the Carnegie Corporation.
I got the surprise that they were going to give us $10,000 for being a Carnegie Library. It was very exciting to hear that news. We're excited to see what we can do with that money, what we're going to be able to offer, or any plans that we can make with that.
Another local library that received the gift is the Pittsburgh Public Library, which Andrew Carnegie paid for in 1910. 4 years after Girard. At the time, folks in Pittsburgh who had heard about Carnegie's influence in the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania mining industry were resistant to Carnegie's plans at first.
Citizens of Pittsburgh, of course, were heavily involved in mining, did not think well of Andrew Carnegie. So it was ultimately decided that, okay, we will take your money, but we're not going to put your name on our building. So the Pittsburgh Public Library is, I don't know if it's the only, but it is one of the few libraries that the Carnegie name is not actually on.
With the gift being such a surprise, both libraries are focusing on planning what the funds will be used for.
I hope the community realizes the opportunities that this is going to help us, because, you know, funding is hard to get.
These Carnegie libraries first opened their doors in the early 1900s, but they're still proving to this day that they are a crucial part of their community.
I want to take our time and decide what to do with these funds, and I really want to do something that will have a really positive impact on the Pittsburgh community.
Reporting in Crawford County, Kansas, Mitch Adams, KOAM News.
The timing of the Carnegie Corporation's donation is no coincidence. The donations come as part of the celebration of the 250th anniversary of the United States. Well, Target says it's eliminating about 1,800 corporate positions, including 800 open roles. With a new CEO set to take the reins in February, the moves are part of the retailer's efforts to streamline decision-making and strengthen its customer base. The cuts represent less than 10% of Target's corporate workforce. Tesla is recalling more than 63,000 Cybertrucks in the U.S. because of the front lights, and apparently they're too bright. The concern is that it may cause a distraction to other drivers and increase the risk of collision. The National Highway Safety Administration said the recall includes certain Cybertrucks with a model year between 2024 and 2026. The federal agency said Tesla is not aware of any related collisions, injuries, or fatalities. And 3M is recalling more than 10,000 thermal laminators due to a potential overheating issue that poses a burn hazard. The recall focuses on the Scotch brand TL90950 thermal laminator. The company is offering a refund. More news when we come back.
This QR code,
Wheel of
and then they get to
Fortune
film
Live is
their-
stopping by Downstream Casino in Quapaw, Oklahoma tonight. 3 lucky contestants picked during the pre-show will get a chance to spin the wheel and win $10,000 as well as other prizes. The wheel on stage at Downstream is a fraction of the size of the wheel on the California stage.
We actually have something new on tour this year where we have a QR code in the lobby where people can scan it and submit an audition to be on the TV show with Ryan Seacrest and Vanna White. That's something new on tour this year. So if you're on site, you can actually submit your audition and they put it to the top of the list. It's something new that we've got on tour this year.
The doors opened at 7 p.m. at Downstream Casino. That's been our time for tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great evening.